welcome back to the Miraculous Mamas podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Joy, and I'm joined here with my husband, Vito.
Hello.
And we believe in empowering women through storytelling and education, and we're so glad that you guys are listening today. Today we have an interview with Gleb Savchenko from Dancing with the Stars. But before then, Vito and I are going to do a little update on pregnancy, Father's Day, and what's going on in our lives. But before we dive into that, I've been talking about Sperm Health on here, babe.
Oh.
And how important it is.
Yeah, I listen to your podcast, babe. I know I'm learning.
Uh-huh.
Alcohol is not good. Abuse of marijuana is not good, but some marijuana might be good.
Yeah. It's conflicting information out there on it. So a super interesting study came out of China a few years ago, and they took a sample among over 5,000 sperm bank donors, and they found evidence suggesting that there's been huge decreases in semen volume, sperm concentration, and motility and total sperm count between 2008 and 2014. And in this study, you guys can find it on the NCBI. I will link it in the show notes. They basically say the decline of sperm quality among sperm bank donors in the study is alarming and should receive great attention.
That is alarming. Do they have any culprits?
I mean, I haven't seen much since then, but they said that there needs to be long-term observation should be conducted to confirm the present results and determine the potential causes of the decline in the semen quality. So I like all of this information coming out because I feel like the whole health industry focuses on women. Like, not just when it comes to fertility, when it comes to health in general. Like, women are the easy sell, right? Like, try this new fad diet, do this, like how to get abs for summer in 30 days. It's like, yeah, right. Nobody's ever gotten abs in 30 days ever from doing 50 crunches a day, like Shape Magazine says. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all of this information coming out is super interesting to me because over the last 80 years, sperm quantity has decreased by 60%. So there's something going on. And I know that there's people researching and looking into it. But to me, I just find that really fascinating because I feel like the health industry targets women and focuses on women. And now it's starting to show up in sperm.
Yeah. Well, I think it probably always showed up in sperm, but now they're bringing more attention to it probably, right?
Yeah, well, yeah,
because of people like you.
I mean, I'm trying to. I mean, I always tell people if they're trying to, well, okay, so one of the questions somebody asked us was tips for like preparing your body to try to conceive, like what we did. And I had shared on here, like when I had Dr. Patrick Flynn on, I started working with him on balancing my hormones, getting rid of my food allergens, and decreasing inflammation in my gut and my body, which was showing up in high estrogen and heavy periods and things like that. So those things started to mellow out, and I had been working with him. I started working with him in June, and we got pregnant the very end of November.
Right.
So
the way we prepared was just getting as healthy as we could, physically and emotionally, I guess.
Yeah, well, and I mean, one thing that we did too that I thought was really cool was before we even started trying, we tried that couple's 30-day of sex challenge. And that was just, and we weren't trying to conceive then, we were preventing. But that was just a bonding thing for us.
Yeah, that was I would say that was a shift in our relationship for sure. It was because, there was a lot of times. So basically, if you listen to the Long Haul podcast, we were talking about 30 days straight in October. We called it Sextober. And it was like a challenge for ourselves. And there were a lot of nights where I would get home at like 8 o'clock after laboring all day. And it was like, no way. In a normal day, no way would we have sex then. But because we were doing the challenge, you push through it. You like just do it, And it always is good. You always find a way,
Yeah. Well, I think that what it taught us, though, is even when you feel like we have nothing left for each other,
you have something left.
You have something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean it has to like come out in the physical form, but we do have days that are long and exhausting and tired, and where you get home and you want to tap out.
There was like 3 days in a row where I was up at 5, got home at 8, and we still did it.
Yeah.
And never regretted it. Never really lost any sleep. If anything, it helped me sleep better.
Yeah.
But it just felt like a really good bonding experience. Like you were saying, I feel like we got a lot closer after that.
Yeah. So I think for us trying to conceive, and also going into it, we knew that when we decided we were going to be ready, we weren't going to focus on immediately just trying to conceive. We still wanted then to just stop preventing and to just enjoy each other.
Right. And that was our emotional preparation of like, whatever happens. We're not doing this to try to get pregnant. We're just doing this, and then whatever God puts in our life, we'll be grateful for, sort of mentality.
Right. So I think that we both prepared ourselves physically. I ran the half marathon and was working on my hormones and getting healthy. And I had quit drinking for a long time, most because of food allergies and different things.
Yeah.
And you're not a big drinker anyway. So, but I think at that time we decided, I think we gave up alcohol the month of September.
We had just stopped drinking, and I had like heavily reduced my sugar intake until after you got pregnant. Then I went straight back to the Snickers bars.
No, but hey, they do say one of the
that Snickers are good for sperm.
No, one of the old wives' tales is that if dad gains weight with mom while she's pregnant, you're having a girl.
I've lost weight.
And you have lost weight. You're just handing it over to me.
Yeah. Stress is taking a toll on me for sure. No. For sure.
You poor guy. Okay, so speaking of stress, what is the most stressful part and the most exciting part for Vito about expecting a baby and watching the pregnancy?
So the other day you had, I don't know if you had Braxton Hicks or something, but you were like, oh, I have like a cramp. And you kind of made like a weird like shimmy with your body, and I was like, I don't know why in my head. Obviously, it wasn't like contractions, but for something in my head, I was like, "Oh my god, this is the time! Like this is it. She's going early, like, and the baby room's not ready. There's not even half a wall up there yet, and our house is completely under construction. And I just realized that I hadn't mentally prepared for having an actual baby.
Yeah."
Obviously, I know you're pregnant, and we talk about it every day and whatever, but the most stressful part since then has been trying to wrap my head around that a baby is actually coming. Like there's an end to the pregnancy sort of thing, because now it just seems like a normal part of life. Oh, you're pregnant. Yeah, okay. But I never really wrapped my head around the fact that leads to a baby. It sounds stupid, but that would be the most stressful part, the fact that our house is in not shambles, but
disarray.
It's in shambles. And we're just not physically prepared.
Yeah.
But I would rather be mentally prepared than physically. Our house is big enough where we can
figure it out.
Avoid the upstairs, yeah. And then the most exciting part is that that we could start trying for baby number 2 once baby number 1. Liz is telling me that I have to start. Can I say this?
Yeah, you
okay.
can
Liz
say
is telling me that I have to start using condoms again, and this is news to me.
Okay, this is not news. I've brought it up before.
This is news to me every time you tell me, because we need to get a doctor on to deny or confirm that this is true, or if there's alternatives, because I don't know. That might be the most stressful part of it.
Like the other day, I'm like, how are you going to feel when we start using condoms again?
This is Liz's sexy talk. Again, if you listen to our podcast, you'll know. But she's like, we're kissing, and she's like, aren't you excited to use a condom again? And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, you know this. So a lot of women, when they're breastfeeding, they don't ovulate, so they can't get pregnant, but it's not tried and true.
My cousins are Irish twins.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which I would like to not do. So,
I mean,
no.
You know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, and once I actually do get my cycle back and I'm ovulating, if I do that before the time when we're ready to start trying again, then we can use the natural family planning method.
Pull and pray?
No. You just track and you don't do it on those days.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're going to take a quick break to talk about global healing. I know I mentioned it last week, but I'm so excited about this company and their products, you guys. It's a family-owned business, and it's been operated since 1998. All the products are vegan, GMO-free, gluten-friendly, ethically sourced, packaged with recycled glass bottles, and manufactured in one of the eco-friendliest facilities in the industry. And today I'm going to talk to you about their Oxy powder, because I've shared on here before how I've had a journey with my gut health, and a healthy body starts in the gut. Your digestive system is your lifeline to good health. Every day it processes nearly 3 gallons of food, liquids, and internal secretions. However, occasional constipation and other digestive ailments can strike at any time. The Oxy powder is the key to feeling lighter, having more energy, and setting a foundation for healthy living. Oxy powder uses oxygen for safe and gentle cleansing of impurities, toxins, and harmful organisms. It's such an amazing product. I could literally go on and on, but it is the world's most advanced and oxygen-based intestinal cleanser, and it's all natural and uses the power of oxygen to make it safe and effective. And last week I told you about the D3, which I absolutely love. And I also want to touch on their probiotic, the lateral flora, which I'm a huge fan of. In pregnancy, you can get constipation pretty easy as well. Your metabolism slows down. And babies' gut bacteria, their gut flora actually starts to develop in utero. So it's so important for a pregnant woman to be taking care of her gut flora and bacteria as well. And I'm a huge fan of their probiotics. I have tried a lot. But the thing that I love about theirs is that you just take 2 capsules in the morning for a month. And then after that, you reduce it to 2 to 3 times a week. And they're, again, everything is clean. It's made in an amazing facility, and it's so cost effective too. It's $21 a month for these probiotics, which is absolutely amazing. And I am super excited about this company. And I have a discount for you guys as well. As a new customer of Global Healing, you'll receive 15% off your first order when you use code MAMAS at the checkout. Just go to globalhealing.com/mamas and enter code MAMAS at the checkout for 15% off your first order. All products are backed by their Year to Love It guarantee. Love it, or you can send your bottles back empty or full for a 100% refund. And they always offer free shipping in the US and Canada. I'd love for you guys to check out their products and let me know which ones that you are using and love. Now, back to the episode. All right. So what about plans for time off work after baby? For me and for you. So I know for me, I do get maternity leave from the hospital.
Yeah.
They haven't said exactly how much. They're trying to figure out about hiring another doula while I'm gone. Mm-hmm. And then they seem pretty flexible for when I want to come back. But I was thinking about going back in the winter sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. Mm-hmm. Hopefully all this COVID stuff is over and they've found a remedy or something. And then for me, I work with the family business, so whatever you need, I'm sure I can get flexibility. Mm-hmm. But, got to pay the bills too. So
right.
And your mom will be in town, so it's you don't even need me, really.
Yes, I do.
Debatable.
And then what are you most excited about for when the baby arrives?
Just watching it learn. I think with my nieces and nephews, it's just fun to watch them think. You know, you could see babies thinking.
Yeah.
I think that was always fun with my nephews and stuff.
I feel like for me, I'm just so excited to see what we create together.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, we made this.
Yeah.
And then do you have a feeling if it's a boy or a girl?
The other day I had a dream, a very vivid dream that it was a boy and it had a name. And it was like when the name was said, it just felt so natural. And for the life of me, I can't remember the name. I told you this.
Yeah.
For the life of me. During the whole dream. It was a whole dream. We were like, oh, baby, you know, but we were calling it a boy's name. Then I woke up and I was like, that was a good name. And then I was like, what was the name?
Dang it, Vito.
I know. And I couldn't think of it.
I haven't had any dreams or really any inklings. I go back and forth. Right now, I think it's a girl. So
it's hard for me to wrap my head that an actual baby is going to be the result of this pregnancy.
Yeah.
I get it. And intellectually, I understand, but it's when you're in it, it's different.
What about pregnancy has surprised you? You're educated about pregnancy, but I wonder if what's been different than you expected or something you never knew. I feel like I'm learning a lot. I mean, just pregnancy is different than I expected in general because I didn't know what to expect. So I think experiencing it it's been really, really cool. I wasn't expecting to lose sleep during pregnancy. I was expecting to lose sleep after. Or I thought maybe it would happen just at the end. Like when you're really big and uncomfortable and it's your last month of pregnancy. But I go through phases. I've gone through phases since the beginning of my pregnancy of not sleeping. And I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it's nature's way of preparing you for no sleep.
I hate that response.
It's got to be true.
How has pregnancy changed your relationship?
Well, I've just seen you wear things that I wouldn't normally see you wear. Like right now, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing a pregnancy belt.
It's like a jumpsuit.
It's not a jump. It's like a wrap.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. So just seeing you doing different things, I think I never really realized as a part of pregnancy. And like all of your pelvic floor therapy classes and the childbirth classes we're taking, I'm definitely obviously learning a ton. I just didn't know that you had to do all this stuff.
I think that pregnancy's changed our relationship because it's forced us to talk about things that we maybe didn't talk about before, or it's made us forced us to talk about, I don't know. I think especially in the beginning, like parenting stuff and decisions but I feel like through it, we have gotten closer. Like we've been able to each state our sides and come to an agreement.
Yeah. Well, I was talking with my Aunt Fina, and she told me she's been married for, I don't know, between 20 and 35 years. That gap. And she's like, it's funny because when she got married, she was telling me, when I got married, I thought I was head over heels in love with your uncle. She's like, I look back and it's laughable because they've gone through so much and because of 3 kids and miscarriages and whatever and business and being at the bottom and being at the top. And she's like, you don't even understand how much closer you can get to, with each other. And I think we're seeing it even just now.
Yeah.
And like the idea that now we think we're close, and it's not even going to scratch the surface.
Not even a thing. Everything's kind of leading into each other. So how do you get through arguments?
How do we get through arguments?
I think a lot of patience. I think one big thing with us is nothing is like, we have to settle this now. you know what I mean? It's like I'm giving my point of view, you're giving your point of view. We talk about it a few times and it comes up, and then we have time to kind of be like, okay, well, show me why you think this, show me why you think that, and let's come to a mutual decision.
So the way you said that made it seem like we're very cordial when we have arguments, and we're not. So it gets very emotional.
Yeah.
And like when we actually argue, when we debate, I would say, it's cordial.
Right,
but when we're arguing, like what I need is I don't shut down, I quiet down, and I have to really think about it. And it'll be loud, and I'll be like, okay, this is getting serious. Like, let me think about it. And then I'll usually walk away and then be like, let me think before I speak. And then you usually get emotional. Mm-hmm. And then we reconvene in a couple hours and logically, argue our points, sort of thing. So that's how, right? Mm-hmm. I would say that's how we, like, actual arguments. Debates, you have to understand. You have to understand each other's point of view. I'm not right and you're not wrong. It's not, right. There are very rarely black and white things.
Right.
You may see them as black and white in your eyes, but also you have a partner now. So it's not just your eyes. You have to see things through their eyes as well. Mm-hmm. And if you refuse to, well, then good luck. Then nothing is you're not going to take any advice anyway. So.
Right. Yeah. Will the baby have an Italian name?
It'll have an ethnic name.
If it's a girl, no.
That's not an Italian name, no.
No, the girl name's not Italian. The boy name most likely.
But it's like an ethnic name. It's not like Rebecca or Stephanie or something, right. Which are great names. It's just, it'll be a little more.
Which the next question comes from Stephanie. So.
Oh, see? But so my cousin married a Stefania, which is just an ethnic Stephanie,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it would be something like that.
Yeah. All right, we are going to take a quick break to talk about something that every single parent needs. And as someone who's preparing for motherhood, it is stressful thinking about how am I going to know if the baby is comfortable or sleeping enough? And there's so many things that I have no idea. And then I heard about the Lumi by Pampers baby monitor system, and I was intrigued. Lumi by Pampers combines an HD video monitor with a sleep sensor that automatically tracks the baby's sleep 24/7. From the app, you can see the baby super clearly, even when you zoom in at night. And you can also see their naps, sleep visualized in a way that's easy to see how their routine is forming. How cool is that? It is such an amazing monitoring system, an app, and you can create a more consistent sleep schedule. And more sleep for baby means more sleep for you and me. No wonder it is award winning. And you can try Lumi by Pampers for 20% off by going to lumibypampers.com and using code Miraculous20. That's LUMI by Pampers.com and use code Miraculous20. Now, back to the episode. So as a doula, are you teaching Vito tricks for your labor and birth?
Not yet.
You don't feel like I've taught you anything?
No, I want to know the pressure points. You've taught me like what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. But I want to know acupressure. I want to know the snake oil stuff. I want to know. You just got a medicine ball, not a medicine ball.
Yeah, a birthing ball,
a yoga ball, whatever. I want to know that stuff.
Well, so one thing that we are doing though is we're in a childbirth education class, and they teach a lot of that in there. And I thought it was really important for us to take it together, because it's so much easier sitting and learning and going through this stuff together and having prepared material than me just trying to tell you things as well. And it's always like a great refresher for me. And Stephanie also asked, like, what do you think will be your best asset because you have previous experience as a doula? From another doula who just had her first in February. Congratulations, Stephanie. I think my greatest asset, though, is going to know that this is normal. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to be scared I mean, I'll definitely have fearful moments, I'm sure, but the things that I'm constantly reminding clients of in birth is like, this is normal. When you're throwing up, this is normal. When your body's shaking, this is normal.
Right.
When you think you can't do it anymore, this is normal. When you feel like you're about ready to poop out your baby, this is normal. So the things that people look at me and they're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I'm like, it's okay. This is normal. You know, those types of things, I feel like give me an advantage in the situation. Yeah. But I'm also going to need to be reminded because I've never felt it before.
Right. Intellectually knowing is definitely an advantage, but anytime you feel something for the first time, you're going to be like, no way is this normal, you know?
But I also think my best asset as a doula is knowing my rights in childbirth. And so I know going into the hospital, which we'll get to in a little bit when we talk about our birth plan, is like knowing what I can and cannot have. And knowing what requests I have and not being afraid to ask for them or not being afraid to have an open conversation with a provider, which, I mean, who we're with, they always do informed consent. So they're never just going to do something to you. They have a conversation with you. But even if I have a nurse that comes in and is like, oh, you can't do that, I can be like, well, actually I can, you know, or get me a new nurse. Like, I'm not afraid to do that. Like, I know my rights. I know what I can and cannot do. And I'm excited to like give birth in a place that supports that.
Yeah.
All right. Will baby number 2 gender be a surprise as well? How has the whole waiting to find out been for both of you?
It's the best. I love it.
I love it too. There's times where I'm like, oh, I just want to know.
Yeah, of course it'd be nicer to know. But it's like, I don't know, this kind of, it makes you think differently. I don't know. And it's sort of more primitive of like, they didn't know back in the day. Why should we know? And it's exciting. It's like, you know, there aren't that many surprises in life to look forward to, I guess you should say.
And baby number 2 gender will be a surprise as well.
Yeah, might as well. Why not?
I think they probably all will. How are you feeling now that you're further in your pregnancy? Do you ever have anxious feelings about anything?
Good question.
Well, because I had talked on here in May about pregnancy really just being blah and not being that exciting and struggling with my body changing. And I can honestly say so much has changed in the last month.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about being pregnant now. And I only have a couple months left, you know? Like, I'm really excited. I feel cute. Like, I feel like maybe also because the weather's finally, like, really warm out and I can wear a sundress and I feel like I get to wear my cute maternity clothes and...
look good, feel good.
That's what you always say. And I feel like I'm feeling a lot better in the pregnancy. Like,
do you have any anxious thoughts as to like what's to come?
No.
You're just like full excitement, you know, pedal to the metal. I'm excited. Let's do this.
I think that my only fear at this point is going to 42 weeks and having to get induced. I just really don't want to be induced. So I'm going to do everything in my power to not have that happen. But like I said, we work with amazing providers that, you know, have tons of natural suggestions. And trust me, at 41 weeks, we'll be doing them all. So yeah, I really, really don't want to be induced because I know as a first time mom, that process can take days.
Yeah.
And it leads to a lot more medical intervention. So
sure.
Hoping that doesn't have to happen. Somebody asked, when did we start putting together the nursery?
Good question. I'll let you know when we start.
We have the theme picked out. We have some other stuff picked out. It is not together.
Do we have the crib yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's up there. It's just not put together.
Right. We have boxes of things, but until the wall is put up, we're not going to unbox the things.
Yeah, we have to get some
And then
drywalling
we
done.
have like a drum set in there that we have to donate. Or if anybody in the area wants it,
come get it.
Come get it.
So yeah, I mean,
we will let you know when we start.
Yes. Love to hear. Oh, somebody wants to hear a condensed love story, where we met, who pursued who, and what our biggest hurdle has been.
Condensed? Someone sent me a picture of a chick, and I was like, yo, she's hot. If you don't marry her, I'm going to. And then he's like, I'll hook you up. We talked on Facebook for like a couple
messages
messages back and forth. And then had a FaceTime call, fell in love, didn't know it. You were in Toronto. I drove up there New Year's Eve, had our first kiss like at 11 o'clock New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to have a cheesy first kiss on New Year's. I didn't want it to feel forced. I didn't want you to think that you had to because it was New Year's. So I was like, you know what? What did I say? I said, do I have to wait till midnight to kiss you?
Yeah.
And you were like, boy. We kissed. We fell in love. And then did some long distance for a couple of years from Vegas. Broke up. Got back together. You moved to Chicago. And the rest is history.
Very condensed, yeah.
Yeah.
Who pursued who? I feel like we pursued each other at different times.
Yeah. Different times. Yeah. In the beginning, I was playing it cool and you were
like, I love you, just marry me now.
You were like, listen to this song. And it was like, I love you. And it was like, listen to this song. It was something about having your babies. And I was like,
no, it wasn't.
I was like, geez, be a little more forward.
I never sent him a Let Me Have Your Baby song.
I'll have to look back.
I think our biggest hurdle then was distance. Even once we decided to make it official, distance was so hard because you detach when we're distant.
Because I wasn't going to emotionally invest myself.
Even once we became official. Like, when we were together, it was amazing, but when we were far apart, we would talk every day, but you would just like...
Because I just didn't think... I did not think that you would move here. I really didn't. Like, I knew I loved you, but I was like, there's no way she's going to move here. So then I would detach. And then I spent a month in Vegas, and I was like, yeah, okay, I love this girl, but I'm not moving to Vegas. What are we going to do in Vegas?
You said... I had to move to Vegas. To Chicago.
Yeah.
If we were going to make it work. What do you think our biggest hurdle has been since we've been married?
Biggest hurdle in our relationship?
Yeah, in our marriage.
I don't think it exists. I don't see us as two people anymore, so I don't see us like... I think our biggest hurdle has been this house, like us getting this house finished.
Yeah.
But I don't see us like... oh, you said something and we need to work past this. I see us as like as a one unit. So it's like us against something else, like an outside thing. And we're very communicative. So it's not like if you have a doubt or a fear, you immediately bring it up and vice versa. So it's not like we have to get over anything because it doesn't ever build to the point of this has been bothering me,
Yeah.
And I hope it continues that way,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're only going to have to communicate more when we have kids.
Right. So we'll see. As of right now, I think our biggest hurdles have been outside things. And I'm just hoping that our communication continues to be well and,
birth plan.
Healthy baby, healthy mama.
Okay. So I'm birthing with the midwife group that I work with at the hospital. They have a small birthing center there. So we have access to birthing tubs in the room and everything like that. What's really amazing is most of the things I would put on my birth plan are already standard practice at the hospital. So they do delayed cord clamping. They let it pulse until it's finished. They do an hour of skin to skin, the golden hour, unless for some reason there's a medical reason to take the baby. So they let you do skin to skin for an hour before they take the baby to weigh, measure, do anything. We're planning right now. Vito's the only one allowed in the room. Our hospital still has strict restrictions on that. Planning on laboring at home as long as possible. than going in.
A tub birth, ideally.
Yeah.
If possible.
It is possible, but also I could get in and be like, I don't like the water. Who knows?
Right.
But this is the
plan,
nice.
right? This is, and you're not like married to your plan. That's one thing that I've heard you teach your mamas is like, this is the plan and this is what we're going to go into, but also we're open to rolling with whatever happens.
Well, I think the whole idea of a birth plan is to educate yourself on the options, being like, oh, what is delayed cord clamping? Oh, what is the eye ointment? What's that nut? Like, why does that exist? Why would I do this thing or that thing? Why are these even options? Because you actually have tons of options in birth. So, but I already know all mine, so I have like...
And it's nice that the midwife group, like you said, it's standard practice for a lot of those things. So it's not even anything that you really have to worry about or think about.
Yeah. So we're super excited about that. Shower plans. I am having a shower. It's limited to 50 people.
Is it? Did you,
as of now,
did you put the deposit down?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
On, just at this little golf course. I found my midwife because I work with them, which they're amazing. And then how have I been staying healthy during pregnancy?
How have you been staying healthy? I don't know. Stress has been keeping my weight down, so.
I think that for me, one thing I've done consistently is walk every single day. And I walk 2 to 3 miles a day. And even when it was freezing in like February, I was out walking a couple miles a day. Because walking is so healthy for you when you're pregnant. Stretching, I've been working with a pelvic floor therapist. Squats are really good. And trying to eat as healthy as I can. I mean, I've definitely had more of a sweet tooth this last month. But even then, I'm always trying to make sure I'm getting enough protein. Always trying to make sure I'm eating greens every single day.
Well, you got that green juice that we drink a lot. And you know what? You have been having quite the sweet tooth lately.
Way more. I mean, I normally don't really have one.
No, but you've been like actively going, like if we're at my parents', you've been like actively going to the freezer and being like, what's in here?
What is in here? Because I don't keep it here at our house.
Right. It's not at our house. So every time we go to my parents, you're like, I know there's ice cream in here or something. Yeah, I've had dessert. I mean, every night we're there.
Yeah, for sure. Every night that we're there. I had a scoop of ice cream today at lunch for Fina's birthday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I just had some keto ice cream, which does not taste like regular ice cream, but
but it's something.
Yeah, it curbs the.
I actually include in my pregnancy blogs a lot of stuff that I'm doing as well. So if you guys want to check that out. Plans for the nursery. We're doing like a safari theme that I'm excited to show you guys.
It's safari now?
We agreed on that a while ago.
Babe. I haven't agreed on anything. You're the one that you're like,
how
about this? And I was like, okay.
Between the two, and I said, which one do you like? And you said this one. I said, okay, we're doing that one. It's like jungle. More jungle than safari.
It was between jungle and mountains. And Liz is like, which one do you like? And I'm like, both. They're great. And then she was like, I think I like mountains. So I was like, yeah, mountains. That's my favorite. I just said whatever you were saying because you couldn't make up your mind.
Eventually you did say that you liked the jungle better.
Because you were saying, I don't know, what do you think? And I was like, yeah, the jungle is way better. And now it's jungle.
Yeah, it is. It is. Let's see. This one's an interesting question.
Oh, boy.
What are your thoughts on childhood friendships? Do you think it's weird if you consider them family, so therefore call your kids, their kids, your nieces and nephews, refer to them as your children's cousins? My husband doesn't have close friends like that, but I do, and we don't see eye to eye on it, just looking for an outside perspective. So I can say this. Like, my really close friends, like Karina will tell Emiliana, like, oh, say hi to Aunt Liz.
Right. You have to be very close. Like, yeah, Karina, yeah. If it's just like your friend, this is my opinion, obviously. If it's just like an acquaintance, and you're like, oh, go by Auntie Liz. And it's like, well, or like if anybody would be like, oh, go by Zio Vito, I'd be like, I don't
But
know
would,
you
I mean,
like that.
so would you
But,
tell
like,
our kids to call like Nav and JT Zio?
No, Nav's Indian, and no, no, it's not like that's no. But
Uncle?
I don't know. They would be the ones, but I don't know. Now that I'm thinking, like, maybe. But they're like, I've been best friends with them since I was 6. You know,
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, probably. Yeah, just them 3: Alex, Nav, and John.
Yeah.
But anybody else, it would just be kind of like, you know what it is? It's a respect thing. At least in my culture, Zio is aunt and uncle. Zia and Zio are like, it's a term of respect and endearment. It's like, yes, it means aunt and uncle, but also if you're just throwing around, oh, this is my Zia or Zio, it's like, well, it kind of lessens the meaning behind it, or like the importance of it. Mm-hmm. Like, imagine if you called everybody your mom and dad. Well, it's like, no, you have.
I also do think it's different for girls and guys for some reason.
I guess. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying?
I get it. But yeah, I think if it's somebody that you're close to, it's not weird at all.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what are you guys most excited to teach your child?
Jeez. Acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's got to be, right?
I think that's a huge one.
Discipline.
Yeah, still working on it. I feel like I'm excited just to teach our kids to explore, to really like. I think it's really cool, like you were saying, when you see kids learning. Mm-hmm. So like, if you see your kid becoming passionate about it, like explore this or experience this thing, whatever it is. Go try out for that play or for that team, and just really, and to not be scared, because we've talked about it before. I mean, I used to do public speaking and now I get terrified.
Babe, you crushed it when you did it.
But
whatever, a couple months ago.
I almost pooped my pants. Yeah. So it's like, I was still like sweating profusely and freaking out. And I used to not be scared. Mm-hmm. And I am now. So like, what happened? Like, don't be afraid to get up on that stage and make a fool of yourself. And don't be afraid to pursue your dreams or try really hard for something and fall. Mm-hmm. That's the point. Yeah. You tried, like, give something your all. Go for it. Go hard for things.
Okay, I get the question now. So I think as kids, it would be to persevere. Mm-hmm. Like I was with my nephew Luca yesterday, and
he was 2.5.
He was 2.5, and he was watching me work on the computer, and he's like, work. He just kind of says words, and he's like, do you need this? And he was pointing at the mouse. I'm like, yeah, this is a mouse. I go, do you know what this is used for? And he's like, yeah. And I said, what is it used for? Like just asking questions, and then just looking at him. Obviously, he's got no idea, but looking at him, like trying to figure out what's going on. Mm-hmm. And then he fell, and then I was like, okay. And he started crying. I was like, okay, well, wait, now what? And then he, you could like see him trying to figure it out and like move forward and, like grow and whatever. So I thought that was cool. But like as kids, as people, as humans, to really, I'm gonna stick with accept. Did I say acceptance?
Yeah.
Because I think accepting situations as they are as well. Because like I think fear comes from fighting. You're nervous to public speak because you're fighting the idea that something bad might happen, or you're fighting how you're feeling instead of just being like, no, I'm nervous. Okay, I accept it. And move forward. And I think that's a big barrier for me. Is I'm like, no, I should be this, or I'm not accepting of my situation or how I feel or whatever. Where that's where a lot of the pain comes from. Yeah. So if you can accept, like, oh, hey, I only have 2 toes on this foot. Like, now what? Now what I can do, instead of just being like, oh, I don't accept this. It should be this way or that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Well, thank you guys so much for the questions that you asked and reaching out to us. You won't hear from both of us again until we have the baby.
Or if you listen to the Long Haul podcast.
That's true.
You'll hear from us every week.
Every week. Be sometimes highly inappropriate and sometimes spiritual. And
it's usually really good.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean,
it's our date night.
It is our date night. We do have fun with it. But yeah, definitely check it out. And yeah, thanks, babe, for coming on and hanging out with me. Anytime
you need me, if you need me to, like, you know, do anything, explain what childbirth feels like, or, you know, what it's like for my body changing during pregnancy, I'll be happy to share my side.
Yeah. You're awesome.
Thanks.
All right, guys. So thank you again so much for the questions that you had for us and for reaching out. And we will get back to you in a couple months after we have the baby on some more. But definitely do look out for my pregnancy blog on miraculousmamas.com. And also I am going to be bringing on different experts to explain different things about the birthing plan. So I have someone coming to talk about placenta encapsulation. I have someone talking about chiropractic care prenatally and postpartum. I have a breastfeeding expert to come on to talk about tongue and lip ties to look for. I'm having someone to come on and talk about cloth diapering. That's something that we are doing. And delayed cord clamping, things like that. So over the next couple of months, I'll have some full-blown episodes and some segments on these different things to help me prepare and to share the information with you guys.
Jam-packed education right there.
Yes. Yes. So if you guys are also listening, make sure you hit that subscription button and follow along. And you guys, we got Gleb Savchenko on, and he's going to talk to us about his fatherhood journey. He has a really unique story from growing up in Russia to coming to the States and being on Dancing with the Stars. And he's going to give us some fatherly wisdom. So I'm going to go ahead and start the interview with Gleb. All right, everyone, I have Gleb Savchenko here, and you guys know him from Dancing with the Stars, but today we are going to talk to him about fatherhood and being a dad, and we're so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm super excited.
Yeah, so we were just chatting before this about pregnancy brain, and he's like, I know a thing or two about that because you've been through it with your partners. So what was it like? I guess I'd love to dive into fatherhood stuff first, and then we'll get into a little bit of Dancing with the Stars stuff as well. But becoming a dad, how has that changed your life?
You just suddenly, boom, you have a kid, and then boom, you have another one. And look, it's not about you anymore. It's about them. And this is the most beautiful thing that actually happened to me. I have two daughters, Olivia and Zlata. I mean, everything is just like I started playing dolls. I've learned how to do hair. So many things. And I cannot even explain how it felt. My oldest daughter is 10 years. She's going to be 10 years old. But like 10 years ago, I remember I was so stressed. Like, I don't know why. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a dad. Like, and I was pretty young. I was 26. So yeah, I mean, it's the most beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. And you were becoming a dad too, while following this career, right? So I know you've been on Dancing with the Stars for a while, but obviously you've been dancing for a very long time. So trying to pursue your dreams and to build this amazing career for yourself and be a father and have all these new things going, what was that like for you?
I mean, I have an amazing wife, Elena, and she's pretty much the brains behind the operation. You know what I mean? She supported me all the way from the very beginning. And like, if I had an opportunity to take a job or, you know, she was always like, you have to, like, she was always like pushing me, even though at some point I just wanted to sit at home, relax, play with kids. She was like, no, you got to go work. And that's the dynamic in the family, you know, like and she's also a businesswoman. Like, she runs a dance studio. We have a dance studio for Dance LA in Los Angeles, which is pretty successful. So she does that. The kids already kind of grown up a little bit. She supported me. Like, I think without her help and, motivation and like always striving for better and like putting ourselves like in situations where I had to like work, and just kind of pursue my career and be better at what I do. She kind of like pushed me. It was always kind of like through overcoming the obstacles. There's always something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you as a team, you do it together. And, if someone needs to stay home and look after the kids, you have to do it. At the same time, like right now, I stay home a lot of times where she goes and works. So it's kind of like a balance.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Having a supportive partner who understands like your goals and things like that makes such a difference in a relationship.
Yeah.
I would love to hear, I guess. So you became a dad 10 years ago and you are about to become a father, right? Elena goes into labor. What is going through your mind?
Wow. What's going through my mind? Just like I remember, is she going to be okay? Like, is she going to be okay? How she's going to get through it? And I remember I was driving back and forth from the hospital home. I just wanted to make sure the baby was healthy, and I went with her in the labor. The first thing I remember when like a nurse, a midwife, right? Took a baby and just like light in the eyes, and the baby started crying, Olivia started crying. And the first thing that I did, I start counting all the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Like fingers, like just wanted to make sure that it's there. I just wanted like to make sure the baby's healthy. That was like my top priority.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Were you, I guess, scared at all during it? Or were you able to just kind of like be a rock for her?
I was kind of like scared, but I was excited too. It wasn't like too scared, I guess. I was excited. We were excited to welcome a new baby girl. So that was a lot of fun. But again, like along the way you learn, we were like super young parents. So we like learn like what to do and like what's the next thing. I remember I used to go and take classes how to bath a bit like a newborn baby. Like you have to hold a certain way and I remember I used to like 4 months in and like after she was born, we started doing like a little exercise, like stretch exercises with like arms and legs. And then used to take class too. She was the one who was like, you gotta go and learn because you're gonna be the gym trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. So that was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. And so you have 2 daughters. I know that your oldest is into ballroom dancing, so she's kind of taking after you in that regards, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. We have a dance studio, so she's there all the time. Like after school, she has classes and she does the competitions. But I guess like she doesn't really have that much passion that what I had when I was little. And same with Elena. She also plays tennis. She was really into tennis. She ballroom danced just because probably her parents are ballroom dancers. That's why.
Mm-hmm. So you said like you had a passion for dancing as a kid. How did you get into all of that?
Oh, so I was 7 years old when in second grade in Russia. And at that time, like there's no internet, there's no like, advertisements or anything. So we literally had a teacher walked in the middle of the class and said, look, I am a ballroom dance teacher who wants to sign up. It's 5 p.m. after school hours, whatever. Right. And I remember I had a crush on a girl who was like sitting like a little further away from me. Her name was Dasha. And she signed up. And I was like, yes, that's the chance. I'm going to go and dance with her. I'm going to be like, not just during school hours, I'll be able to see her, but I also going to go and dance. And maybe if I get lucky, I'll dance with her. And I came home and I asked my grandma, I was like, I want to go and learn how to dance. And she looked at me and said, do you know that you're a boy and boys don't dance? And I was like, whatever. And then she probably talked to my mom, or like, I don't remember. They decided that, hey, he's going to be the first in the family, a ballroom dancer. She took, and I actually ended up dancing with her. It was a lot of fun, but then she quit, and I don't know where she's at right now.
Right, but you ended up keeping that passion for dance and continued on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did for so many years now.
Mm-hmm. How did, I guess, growing up dancing then? Because like how your grandma was kind of like, you're a boy, you dance. Like, did you deal with that growing up? Were people like, you're a dancer? What?
Again, like it was super, it was just very unusual at that time for a Russian boy in Moscow and Soviet Union and all that to dance. So a lot of people laughed at me, like I've been bullied at school a little bit, but I kind of always like stood up for myself, because I remember like a year in, or like a year and a half in, we had like some kind of like a performance in school or something like that. And they knew that I was dancing. They asked me to perform, and I had like a super hot partner. So all the boys in my class, like after the performance that we did, they were like, oh my God, you danced with that girl. I was like, yeah. And so I was like the coolest dude in school after that. I had some cha-cha-cha and a little body roll. And that's it. Game over.
Yeah, you're like, this is how you really get the ladies. You got to have the moves.
Exactly.
Yeah. So is that, I guess you said that your wife is into dancing as well. Is that how you two met?
Yeah. So, we've met in the dance studio. She was... she danced with the guy that I used to go and have lessons with. Like, she wasn't my teacher, even though she likes to say that she was my teacher. It's never happened. Never happened. But she did dance with my trainer. Like, she was 10 years younger than me, and she was the youngest professional dancer in Russia at that time. She was only 16 when she turned pro. And I was still amateur, super green, like super skinny, walks in, and then and I saw her, I was like, oh, she's super cute. And then I keep asking her out. She never wanted to go with me. And then at some point she came over like a year in. She was like, okay, you still want to go and see that movie? I was like, yeah, let's go. That's it. That's how it happened.
Oh, that's so cute. I love hearing how people meet, because I just feel like, I don't know, you never know. Like my husband and I basically met on Facebook. So it's like, the world's so crazy how you end up crossing paths with people, and you never know like who it is.
Yeah.
So you have your two daughters. Do you guys have plans to have any more children?
Well, Zlata is 2.5. She'll be 3 in August. We haven't thought about it. I mean, it's a lot to have 2 kids. Is it your first one?
It's my first,
baby?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Your first. Oh, that's exciting. Congrats, by the way. Boy or girl?
You. I haven't. We're going to be a surprise.
Yay! That's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited.
Awesome. Do you want a boy or girl?
Honestly, I just want a healthy baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Most important.
Yep.
You got names?
We do, but we're not sharing them.
So I'm interviewing you right now.
Right.
That's exciting. That's awesome. I'd love to have a boy at some point. It's just because, like, it just feels like it's a lot of women in the house. And I'm like, at some point, I'm just going to go crazy. I have my wife, my first daughter, a second daughter. We have a nanny. And sometimes Elena's mom comes and visits, my mother-in-law. And that's the limit. That's like the highest point you can get. So I'm like, guys, I'm going on tour for 3 months. See you later.
Right.
Enjoy. So if I have a boy and they're not allowing me to have a dog, I want a dog. And they're not like, well, no, I have allergy, blah, 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 and all that. I was like, okay, fine. So, yeah, if I have a boy, then at least like I have a little, just a man's vibe.
Right. Yeah. You're not as outnumbered then.
Exactly.
The hard thing, though, is if you guys decide to try for another kid, you could have another girl.
I know.
So there's like a risk there,
I know. It's a lot of risk. And yeah.
You never know.
Then it's game over to me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. My husband wants a lot of kids, and he always just tells himself mentally, he's like, I'm going to have all girls. Cause he's like, I'm just trying to mentally prepare in case that's what happens.
Right.
He's like, we're going to have 4 daughters and I'm just going to be outnumbered for the rest of my life.
I mean, which is an awesome thing too, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, kids are a blessing, like either way. Like, obviously, you're going to love your kid no matter what.
Right. Yeah, but when you have like 3 girls and you're like, oh my God, no more girls. You don't want to have a boy.
Right. That's for sure. So you've gone through like being a dad while doing Dancing with the Stars and stuff. And Artem is having a kid now too. Have you talked to him at all?
Yeah, we spoke a few weeks ago, actually. He's super excited. He's stressed, nervous, and, but I tell you that he's going to be an amazing dad. He's going to be such a good dad because anything he does, it's like to a level of perfection, like the perfection that you don't even cannot even imagine. Everything's got to be perfect. So like I can see him like making like a bread from the scratch to his like baby, or like everything is gonna be organic, and they're gonna be an amazing parent. And I love Nikki too. She's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was maybe some really good? What's the best like fatherhood advice anyone's ever given you?
Just go with the flow. Don't try to change things because it's just not. Just just enjoy every single moment, because time is the most precious thing in life, and time is love. So try to be present. Spend more time with your kids, right? If you can. Any chance that you have, don't come home and stay on your phone. Just make a rule. Come home, turn off your phone, and be with your kids, because that's when you connect with them. That's when you learn. Both of you learn, and that's like the most. And they remember, they have such a good memory. Like they remember those moments. We might think it's not important or whatever. Like they're trying to show us a spider in the corner, right? And we're like, right? But you have to be present. You have to, okay, let me see. And like, you have that bond with them. And that's, I think, spend more time with your kids. That's my advice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really good advice, especially with all of the technology today and distractions.
Yeah.
So
100%.
You're spending more time with your kids. So we went through a pandemic and all this crazy stuff. So have you just been at home with your family during this time?
All the time.
Yeah.
Every single day, all the time. And, we try to play games. We try to have fun. We swim in the pool together. And we went fishing. That was awesome. It's just, and it's great. Because I'm most of the time, 8 months out of the whole year, I'm traveling and dancing and touring and on the show. And so every time when I get home, I really enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten sick of each other yet?
I mean, look, we've been married for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've danced together, and when we danced together for years, every single day we were together. It wasn't like we're married. I'm a dentist. I go to my office, right? And she does something else, and then we meet. we literally wake up, we go practice together. You know, we have like lessons, we travel together, we do the competition together. So we got used to it so much. So it's kind of like, it was nice to have that again. You know what I mean? Instead of me doing my thing, it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I know. I feel like my husband, he works seasonally. So he's off a few months in the winter and I don't get sick of him. I'm like, when he goes back to work, I miss him. I'm like, oh, come home. Like,
right.
You know, like but we're also newlyweds. We just got married last year. So everyone's like, oh, you just got married. Of course you're not sick of each other yet. So what about, I guess, so my husband's about ready to be a first-time dad. Do you have any like pregnancy advice for him while I'm hot and complaining all summer being pregnant? Do you have any advice for him?
Just be patient. Like, just try to understand, even though sometimes it's super, super hard for like, you know, there are reasonable things and sometimes there's unreasonable things, right? And you just have to understand that that's okay. Like, this is the process. And, you know, some people go through post-pregnancy depression. Like, a lot of women go through it. My wife went through it, and you just have to have like extra support, you know, buy more flowers, you know, girls love flowers, make their day like super exciting, order some sushi or something, like just like have like little surprises there and there, and just, you know, so it's not going to become like a routine where you just both come home and like baby's crying, everything is just like a mess, and boom, it's going to happen. But at the same time, like, you know, have a glass of wine together at night and just have fun. You know what I mean? Just have fun, because you'll get through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trust me. Trust me.
Yes. Yes. I'm so excited. Well,
but flowers always work. Flowers always work. 100%.
That is true. That is good advice. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and to chat with us about being a father and all of that. So we look forward to watching you in Dancing with the Stars and wherever your career is taking you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It was nice to talk to you. Okay, congrats again, and
thank you.
Be healthy and safe.
I will. You as well.
Okay. All right. Bye.
It was so much fun talking to him and hearing from him, and I'm thankful for Gleb taking the time to come on and share his fatherhood journey with us. And that concludes our fatherhood series for the month. I'm really grateful to all the dads that came on to share with us and taking time out of their schedules. If you guys are listening, make sure you hit the subscription button and leave a 5-star review and let me know why you're loving the podcast. Make sure you share it with somebody who you know would love it as well. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to write to me. You can find us at Miraculous Mamas on Instagram, on Twitter, and make sure you join the Miraculous Mamas Facebook group. It is an amazing place full of community, and the women in there are amazing, and I love them so, so much. And make sure that you join us. So next week, guys, we have the budget mom coming on. We have Mika on, and she's going to be giving us tips on how to save money, which I think all of us could do, but how she got out of debt and to where she is now and how she became the budget mom. And her story is just so amazing. And I'm so excited for you to hear from her. I hope you guys stay safe, and I love you so much. I hope you have a good 4th of July. I think that's this week. Have a good 4th. Be safe, and I'll talk to you next week.